Hello and welcome to the video on how to play the Retail Wars sim game. Now, if you're a student, you'll be given this decision sheet, and this is what you'll be completing each round. So you can see round one's already filled in, but then we're going to go round 2 all the way to round 8. And for each round, you have to make the 7 P's marketing decisions by entering a code of 1 to 9. I'll make sense of that in a moment. The first round's already completed for you to make sure that each team starts in exactly the same position. And after then, you can make whatever decisions you like for the next 7 rounds. And you'll also be allocated a store. You'll have your own region to start with, again, to keep it equal. And then over time, the next round you can go to 5 stores, and then to 10, then to 15, and then to 20 for the rest of the game. So your goal is to maximize profitability using the marketing mix elements, using location, and in competition with your other teams that you're playing. And your goal is to understand the game, understand what your competitors are doing, and then make appropriate decisions in order to maximize profit over the full 8 rounds. So let's make sense of these codes for each of the marketing mix elements and what these numbers are. So this is the spreadsheet that your lecturer or teacher will have. So I'll come over here to information, and you'll have a copy of this. This will be given to you, all these marketing mix decisions. But just to make sense of them, I'll work through a couple of them. So for each one, you'll have the heading, and then what the trade-off is. There's always presented in a set of 9 boxes as a matrix. So for our product mix, we can have a narrow range of merchandise, so the products that we sell, fairly narrow, medium or broad, and our brand quality, not the quality of the store, but the quality of the brands that we sell in the store. It can be low, medium or high. That gives us 9 choices. In this case, our decisions impact our margin. Okay, this is our profit margin. So for every dollar or whatever we sell, we'll keep 15% of it, or 25% of it at most, depending on what product mix decision we make. Now up here, as we move to this end, as it says in this note here, we will maximize sales. So our revenue will go up, but our margin will go down. So our profits may go up, may go down, depending on competition. So we have to trade this off, and you'll learn this in the game. You'll get feedback from the game, you get feedback from what competitors are doing, what are they doing, how are they doing well, that company's not doing well, what are they doing wrong, and it's a learning experience, just like it is being a marketer in real life. So if we wanted to pick that one, we come down here and that's box number 7. We wanted to pick that one, medium and low, that's box number 2. So that's the code, if we come back to the decision sheet, that you enter. So it's 1 to 9. So we entered 2 or 5 or whatever you decided upon. So this one impacts margins, and there's some notes here along the way. Then we go to price. That also impacts margin. So this adds to that. Okay, so those 2 numbers are put together and it adjusts your previous margin. So are we going to have low, medium or high prices? Are we going to have a frequency of sales promotions or discounts? Not very often, sometimes, a lot of the time. So if we're going to have low prices and lots of sales promotions, that's going to bring our profit margin per sales down. So again, this is the only one that works differently. Each of the 7 marketing mix elements, that top right corner maximizes sales. But price is different because the lower the price, the more sales. So it works in reverse. So every other configuration, 9 will maximize sales. However, in this case, price, we want a low price, or the consumer wants a low price. So 1 will maximize sales. So if you go back to the decision sheet, you can see that these have all been set to the worst case. So the least sales is 1. In price, it's 9. So our starting position is we've got to develop and grow our business. We're starting from a relatively low base. So again, we make these decisions. So these are first two are based on margin. Place affects your annual cost. Place is store size and traffic level. So are we in a high volume traffic where there's lots of people, a busy location, a big shopping mall, or a main street, or are we out of the way, not many people there naturally, so we have to attract them. So this is on a per store basis. So initially we start out with one store and we're in that box 1, so it's only a $5 million cost, but over time we could end up with 20 stores and we could be there. So that could be $500 million or $500 million cost every round. So we need to think about this. So obviously that again maximizes sales volume, but it also maximizes our costs. And as we add more and more stores, that cost keeps going up and it becomes quite substantial. So we've got to weigh that up. Promotion is an overall spend. So this is not on a per store basis. This is just a overall spend. And what's our level of promotion and what are we focusing on? Okay, so there's a little bit of hints in there about how the game works, but you will get that from observation, analysis, watching competitors, market feedback, just as you would in real life as a marketer. You do something, you do an experiment, you make a change, you see what happens. Okay, did that work? That worked pretty well. It worked better last time. It's working better for them. And you put the pieces together like any marketer does in real life. Our people mix, staffing levels, and skill levels. Again, this is on a per store basis. Up here, we have a lot of staff, very skilled. Our sales will go up, but our costs are also going to go up. So again, we weigh that up. You pick the right number over time and get that right. Process is different slightly because it affects both cost and our margin. So we can automate the store or we can improve our logistics or both. There's a cost of doing that, and this is an overall cost, okay, not on a per store basis, so overall cost like promotion, but it also improves our margin. So we have good automation in store, good logistics, we're going to add to our profit margin and do better in terms of results. Again, we only need to pick one of those. So if we pick 4, then it relates to that and that. Okay, we can't mix and match because they're interrelated. Okay, so it's the same decision. What's the level of automation? What's the level of logistics support? And then finally we have physical evidence, which I've shortened to PE in the decision sheet. This is on a per store basis. Servicescape, so the design of the store, the look of the store, the atmosphere of the store, low, medium or high, and are we going to have interactive tools in the store? So they're the marketing mix decisions. We also have location decisions. So I've done this simple map for you. There are 30 locations. When you start out, if there's 10 teams, everybody starts in a green spot. So the green is the largest. So if you might start in number 5, so you write down 5. So we are already in position number 5. Okay, and then all the green ones, if you have 10 teams, will be filled. If you only have 5 teams, half the green will be filled, half of them will be empty. Yellow is medium size, and then the blue is the smaller size. So obviously initially you go up to green. As competitors come in, they will add to the excitement of the market. The market will grow. There's natural growth built into the game. What you'll find is sometimes it's good to be with competition, and then other times there's a point where competition becomes too much and you need to look at other locations. So just because there's a competitor there doesn't mean, gee, that's not a good market to go into. If it's green or yellow, it's a larger market. So you can go in there with competitors as you would in any city. If it's blue, then it's getting a bit smaller. You want to be thinking about how many competitors might be there. And of course, you're making decisions in advance. So you may move into a location and find a competitor goes in at the same time, which is not great. And you may have 2 or more stores in the location. So you may start in location 8, and you may choose to add another store or even a second store, third store into location 8 to ensure that competitors don't bother you and that you own that marketplace. So once you've made your decisions, you'll give your sheet to the instructor. The instructor will enter the information. I've already entered the starting position, so every team starts the same, and they've only got 1 store, and these are all the green. So 5, 6, 8, 9. If we have a look back, 5, 6, 8, 9, etc. Everybody is in a big city, and everybody's the only one in there. And once that information is entered, we can have a look at the results. But just a little tip here: if there's any extra teams, we can delete them. So say there's only 8 teams playing, we just take that information out, and we're set to go. Okay, so depending on how many teams there are, your teacher will fill that in appropriately. So I'm going to put these back in. So we're starting with 10 teams, and then once all the numbers are filled in, so we've got to fill in the yellow squares, any gaps, the numbers, for example, if we miss one, it's not going to make sense on the results. So we're just going to make sure that every number is filled in there. We can't enter anywhere else. And then we go to results. And it automatically happens. So once those results, decisions are in, you'll see this. So as you can see, every team starting equals position. Total revenue, 62 odd million. A very nice gross margin, gross profit, costs. Unfortunately, we're not making much money, but everybody's in the same position. So we've got to improve on that, and we can start making increases in profit. The game's designed so there's plenty of profit to go around, and you could end up with billions of dollars of revenue, particularly across 20 stores. Then it gives you a ranking of where you are. Everybody's equal first at this point. Your revenue market share, which is this number divided by everybody, and then growth in revenue and growth in profit. This number will normally work if you're positive, but if you're going from negative to negative or negative to positive, the percentage change doesn't make any sense, so it'll come up as not applicable. And then your net margin, and this is the amount of money. So net margin is that profit over your revenue, and your gross margin is your gross profit over your revenue. So these are 2 numbers used in retailing. Obviously, that's the more important one because that's how much money is left over. It then gives you the breakdown of your costs of this $21 million. At this stage, we've only got 1 store, and that's the minimum costs all set up, and you'll see these grow over time. And then for each individual store, so we can go up to 20. Obviously, we're starting at 1, and you can see which stores are doing well, which ones are not doing well. And remember to look at competitors, where they are, etc. And then at the bottom there, then there's a chart of revenue. So that's partly important. Profit for the round, and then profit overall for it. So that'll keep adding up for each round. I'll go down in a second, but I'll just show you this competitive map. What this will tell you, and your teacher can show you this. This is the coding, numbers 1 to 100, or 1 to 30, sorry, as I showed you before. And this tells you how many stores are in each location. So that one there is position 5. And I've started it so every competitor has 1 spot in a green cell. So they're in the larger ones, as you may remember. So everybody starts there. So this will become more helpful as the marketplace starts to fill up. So what I've done, just to show you, I've just put in random information here. Obviously, this is not a guide, not a tip, etc. But just to show you how the game works, this has always got to be filled up for each number of teams. Got to make sure that all those numbers are there. And you can have, say with one store, you can go to 5 in this round, etc. So I've just done that all the way through. Just done some various numbers there. You can pull out stores, etc. You can do whatever you like. You can change. All your restriction is 1 to 9 and 1 to 30. And what will happen is each time you do that, your results start to change. So we can see here we're getting substantial differences there, 55 million. So they're going backwards. They're over $1 billion, but their margin is quite low. Their margin is very low. And you can see they're losing money. They're making 10 million. They're losing 20. They're making 45. They're losing 45, etc. And these two teams have made the exact same decision, so they have the exact same results. And all the metrics are there. You can see some of the costs have gone up. Some of them are spending over 100 million. And information per location. And then we've got the revenue, the profits, some losing money, some making money. And it continues on. I'll just go down one more. As you can see, there can be substantial differences, which is the game part of it. So this is a simulation and a game. The simulation means it's based on reality. There's a lot of marketing principles sitting in here, but it's also a game. So I've made some of the decisions to be quite responsive. So even though if you fall behind, you can analyze the game, find solutions, and then catch up. So it's not like, oh, gee, we're behind and they've got a bigger company and we're never going to catch up. That's not possible here. You can catch up at any time. And of course, you can lose money. So we have a look at all rounds. Teams 8 and 9 have lost, almost 100 million. And these ones have made over 250 million. So you can lose money. Okay, so even though there's a lot of profit in the place, you can go forward or go backwards. And I'll just show you the competitive map, scrolling down. So as you can see, these numbers are filling up. So if I just go here, you can see there's 4 players here, 2 players there, and there's a couple of spots where there's nobody. So they create opportunities. And on the side here is just the coding. So, oh gee, there's no one there. Oh, that's location number 27. There's no one there. That's location number 18. And away we go. So at the end of making your decisions, your instructor will show you the data, the results, these charts, and we'll also show you this, and then you make the next decision and keep repeating. So hopefully it's a good game. You should enjoy it, and all the best with it.